What's going on, y'all? In this video, life is all about survival. So I kind of want to make this the third and last installment, 3 videos in a row, kind of talking about guilt, the goddamn guilt complex. So one thing that comes with surviving in life, getting older, raising up your consciousness, seeing things that everybody else is not seeing, is a little bit of remorse and sadness for those that still trapped and stuck in their boxes, still trapped and stuck in their mental prisons that we all create for ourselves, but some people just choose to break out of it and live different. So you get survivor's guilt or survivor's remorse. And a lot of people equate that to getting a bunch of money, getting out the hood, leaving your situation. And that is a part of it too. But the bigger one you got to deal with is just seeing the small and low frequency, the fear, the meek, all of that type of shit, y'all. The meek will not inherit the earth. That's a Bible quote. They say the meek is going to inherit the earth. The humble, the passive is going to get the fucking kingdom of God. That all of the evil and all of the corruption in the world is one day going to end. And then the good people are just going to have this earth all to themselves. That shit is not the case, because evil goes unharmed and unchecked in this world because people don't understand what's going on. They don't understand that we all just living and participating and letting all of the evil, all of the corruption, all of the violence go on. All this whole civilization, this whole society, this whole city that we all live in is all fucking evil and corrupt at its base and at its root. And at the same time, at the base and at the root of all of us lies a little bit of guilt for our actions, for our thoughts, for our behaviors, for what we do, for how we've manifested a certain reality, for how we live a certain type of way. We got certain type of advantages. And starting off with just your looks, your attractiveness. Beauty is a philosophy. So things are just like, we call it beauty. We label it beauty. It's aesthetically pleasing. A person might be cute, sexy, handsome, physically attractive, nice body, all of these type things. And then if you harbor and possess that, then you can have some guilt to those that don't, get the niceness from other people, the politeness, because you attractive. So like, yeah, we really all got to come down and figure out our guilt, because I want to be raising y'all up and empowering y'all. But at the same time, I just got to let you know all things that come with evolution, that come with growth, that come with becoming more powerful, stronger, richer. All of the success, basically just controlling your reality, is going to come with starting to notice how people just let life fuck them up, how people just let life destroy them, how people let life kill their spirit, because that's all that's going on. This culture, this society, the internet is all just fucking with your spirit. Scrolling on social media, doom scrolling, becoming a doomer, being sad at life, all of that is fucking with your spirit. And then you got religion and society and all of these standards and traditions that's also mixing in, telling you what you need to be, how you need to be doing. Then you seeing other people that's living their life guilt-free, shit, seemingly on social media, traveling, vacations, even though you don't know what these people is going through. You don't know how they got there. You don't know what their finances is like, what their bank account is like, what their relationship with their kids and their family is like, what their thoughts is like when they lay down and go to sleep at night. So you as the individual have to fucking fix your perspective on reality, on how you seeing things, because guilt is gonna come in, shame, negative thoughts. No matter how much you advance, no matter how great you become on the outside, you internally have to deal with your mental afflictions, the shit that is really fucking with you and making you see life through a bad lens, making you have negative thoughts, making you sad, making you depressed. Like I said, I am against sadness. I gotta make a fucking stamp and let y'all know that shit. It's times to be sad, because it's people suffering, it's babies in this world that's suffering and going through shit, people dying. Like, I get it. It's times to cry and it's time to be sad. You got fucking terminal illnesses that can happen to people. This life is gonna do it to you. But I am okay with being angry, because that anger is that one little fucking dam, that blockade that will take you or stop you from falling into sadness and depression. If you can allow that anger to fuel and transmute into fire, and willpower to change your life and ultimately to change your thoughts. Because like I said, no matter how much you grow, no matter how much money you get, no matter how many followers you get, no matter how much clout, no matter how much respect, no matter how much you move up the hierarchy in your job, in your field, you still gonna be feeling some type of shame and guilt from what you seeing in this life. Palestine, for example, is getting bombed or was getting bombed, still got to survive and build up their families. Everybody in Palestine, they probably know somebody that done lost a limb, that done died. The whole population done got wiped out by Israeli soldiers. Now, here in America, life just goes on. People going to sporting events, entertainment, everything just continues, the whole society. So do you not have a little bit of guilt and remorse and sadness to those people that's dying in Palestine, to those people that's suffering, to all of the people in the world that's suffering and going through some shit in third world countries, babies starving, like just observing and seeing the whole perspective and lens and totality of this life shit, it'll have you feeling some deep, low emotions. So that's why you just really have to, for one, just know compassion and empathy is a choice. Like, it's people out here that have no compassion and empathy for you, but you choosing to have compassion and empathy for others that's suffering and sad and going through shit. So it's just a big balancing effect that you have to come to terms with in your own life. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life. I just want to help guard you against all of the shit that's going to fuck you up emotionally. So what are some tricks? What are some habits? What are some things that you can do to basically make your mind stronger to guard against the shame and guilt that's going to happen in this world? For one, you are a soul having a human experience. I am a soul having a human experience. Repeat that affirmation to yourself, and then you'll understand that you are fucking innocent in this world to whatever happens to you, to whatever you've been through. In the past, that shit that don't exist, that's just your memories, that's just your imagination, that's just the story that you tell. All right? So that's first and foremost. You are a soul. You're a pure awareness, pure energy, pure consciousness inside of the human flesh in control of this vehicle. And you gonna die. And everybody else that you know is gonna die. But as souls, we live on. We're literally infinite. We literally are infinite energy bundles of consciousness and awareness that will live on, that will transmute into other bodies through reincarnation, or go on and drift to other dimensions, or just maybe float around this plane as a ghost or a spirit influencing shit. We don't know. It's the divine mystery. And that same mystery is what religion and the priests and the popes have a monopoly on, because they telling you what's going to happen. And they damn near probably just directing your soul after death to some shit, because if only you believe it, and that's the cap as to where your knowledge and conscious level is at of what you can perceive and think about in the afterlife, then you probably just are going to go exactly where they're trying to send and filter souls through religion. And who knows what the fuck else other crazy shit can come after that thought process. But I want to kind of keep it down here. As I was saying, just some tools and tricks to guard you from the shame and guilt and sadness and fucked up emotions that just come from all of the things that you cannot control in this world. All right. Number 2 is Gnosticism. Understanding that the fucking theory that we're literally created by a evil demiurge, a god, an incompetent God that created this realm filled with suffering, filled with imbalance, filled with chaos, filled with eating, filled with killing, filled with fucking torture, y'all. Fucking torture. Imagine that shit. Somebody is getting tortured right fucking now. Like, that is just enough to have you just fucking detach from all of the whatever somebody could be telling you about life. Somebody could be trying to convince you to do. Bruh, people is getting tortured right now. Don't worry about what you need to be doing or what somebody else is saying that you should be doing with your life, or how you should be living it, or what you should be sad or guilty about. No, let that shit go. Exactly, y'all. Gnosticism basically is books about Gnosticism that said that way back in the beginning of time, they predicted all of this chaos, all of this calamity, all of this damage, all of this violence, all of this weird recklessness, because this is a fucking backwards reality that we live in on Earth. A fucking inside out world, the physical world of separation. split psyches, split realities, everybody living in their own truth, everybody living from their own perspective, people having no heart, no empathy, no compassion, killing and fucking enslaving other people, fucking mind controlling and poisoning people, and just the fucking citizens themselves, robbing, killing, stealing, pushing people over in the street, all of the fucked up shit that you can see. So this is why once you really start to tune yourself a little bit better into seeing how this life is actually a little bit more fucked up than it is good. All of the good and the happy and the smiles and all the cordialness, all the emotions that we just raise up, the faces that you see on the internet and on TV and in movies, people's thoughts internally in this world is a lot different from what's showed on the external. So yeah, this is why I really want to help y'all in your self-defense category of life. Basically, first and foremost, don't even think about working out. Think about arming yourself, because that's your Second Amendment right on this planet, to arm yourself with a knife, a pistol, brass knuckles, mace, a sword, nunchucks, a fucking bat in your car, a fucking hatchet in your car, a fucking knife right at your driver's seat just in case somebody was to ever try to fucking open your door and snatch you up out of it. You got something ready for them. You get what I'm saying? You need to continue to survive. You need to continue to accept and embrace the fact that you have been surviving. But then when you actually tune yourself to see the darkness and open your third eye and really look at the world as it is and for what it is, then it you really either fall under the pressure or you rise above the pressure and become greater. Because I can think back on a time in my life when I was a little more timid, a little more hesitant to speak up, or even a little more hesitant to want to defend myself or think about defending myself. But the more time goes on, the more that you see that you're literally at the biggest advantage from being a fucking warrior, moving through life with a warrior militant spirit, grateful for your health, grateful that you are not being tortured, grateful that your planet and your fucking country, your state, your family is not under attack. But you have to move 24/7 with the mindset of guarding and armoring yourself, literally protecting you and yours at all time. Self-defense, that's first and foremost. Arm yourself. Weapons, taser, knife, brass knuckles, sword, a gun. No matter where you live, you can always carry something on you. And then second to that, start working out, y'all. Start working out. Start simple. You really just need to start with stretching. Start with stretching and then a little bit of walking and jogging on the treadmill. Do that shit for a few weeks and then start with the push-ups. Then start with the sit-ups. But you got to get your limbs and your fucking nervous system ready for action. You got to get ready. You got to get ready. You got to stay ready. You got to be ready. You got to find that fire. You got to find that will. You got to get out of the muddy emotions of guilt and depression and sadness for whatever reason. Because no matter how pretty you are, how handsome, how much muscles you got, how much money you got, how good your car is, how fucking advanced your job title is, how much money you making per year, you gonna have something in this world that's gonna be picking at your fucking brain and heart, making you feel guilty about something, making you feel sad, making you feel embarrassed, making you feel hesitant, confused. So you need to get down to the bottom of that as fast as possible, actually fucking ASAP. Because like I said, that's what makes you move weird in this world. That's what makes you, no matter how attractive you are, can't maintain a relationship, can't stay happy. No matter how much money you got, can't stay excited, can't stay joyful, can't stay creative. Your emotions always dipping down into anger and sadness, crashing out, yelling, screaming at somebody, throwing something. Because this life will fucking do it to you. Because the guilt of us feeling like we not where we need to be, feeling like our reality is not what we want it to be, feeling like our life is not how it should be, all of that shit is just what makes you even more impatient, more tension, more pressure, then you just fucking explode. Now, exploding is actually better than imploding, because imploding is actually damn near like you shrinking a layer down within yourself if you reach a level of implosion. And I could damn near say that's just, maybe not even crying. Maybe crying in anger and crashing out and throwing some shit is exploding, but imploding is just fucking giving up internally to the point where you ain't even got enough passion to cry about it. You just say, fuck it. and you just continuously imploding, and your heart and your aura and everything is just shrinking because this world is crushing your spirit. So I want to make sure that that shit don't happen to y'all. And the easiest way to do it is to just observe reality, observe people, and see this shit for what it is. Competition, surviving. And the real thought that made me think about this, y'all, was rappers. Rappers who survive and get to the millions of dollars, get to the fame, get to the touring, get to the money, and they still rapping about violence and killing and running down on the op and drilling this nigga and standing over his body and doing this and fucking his bitch and taking this nigga and doing this, jewelry, money, cars, clothes, hoes, the shit, the same fucking rap industry that's intimately tied in with the prison industrial complex. You got rappers that's just going out here signing up to play this role because it's all acting, it's all an image. And truly, they do have the capability to do this shit. So really, when you freestyle on the track, that's when that gangster come out of you. That's when that warrior come out of you. That's when that shit about killing the nigga and drilling the nigga and taking the bit and that's when that shit just come out of you, because we've all been programmed with it through rap music in our subconscious mind. So if you gonna choose to take that route, if you doing it, if you gonna keep rapping like that, if you gonna keep taking a gamble by risking fucking with them spirits and that energy of that much violence, because you gotta know it's a nigga that don't like you. You gotta know it's somebody that don't want you saying that shit. You gotta know that you just fucking with somebody that really got less to lose than you. But the niggas that make it to the top, that still rapping about guns and drilling another nigga, they own fucking black race. They own fucking brother and sister. They just risking and taking a gamble, and they just survive. It's because a lot die in the process of being that, of playing that role in society, that actor role. Wanted to make that shit very clear. So it's all about surviving, y'all. And it's all about dealing with your survivor's guilt. The more that you move on into higher levels of life, higher ease of your reality, shit just gets simple. Shit that was complicated to some is now simple to you. Shit is now just easy. Shit is just relaxed. Shit is just peaceful and good. And you got full control of your reality. But the only thing that's fucking with you is your own thoughts and the internet and scrolling and other people's influence onto you, making you feel like you need to be doing something different, making you feel like you need to be getting up and working more, making you feel like you need to be posting more, making you feel like you need to be fucking doing this or doing that or doing less of this or more of that or these or those. It's just all here to fucking program your soul. And you are a soul having a human experience. You are the soul. So again, y'all, I love to speak in technical terms, and I'm going to continue speaking in technical terms. I'm going to make sure that I stay allegiant to speaking in technical terminology, making sure I break shit down. If y'all ever hear me say something that you want me to repeat or break down or go more in depth on, let me know. But I like to stay allegiant to that technical terminology, because when I'm seeing people say shit like, that's wrong, my brain immediately sparks to no, that's not a natural law transgression. That's not a wrong action. That's not a violation of someone's human rights. They're just looking at, they're using wrong terminology, incorrect terminology in that instance. Therefore, there's a lot of misinformation going on in this planet. It's a lot of people confused and misled and just running around, literally bound to run into their own ego off of your own confusion, off of your own disruption, off of your own mental and heart incoherence. You're going to continue running into yourself. And that can all be prevented. It could all be prevented. So yeah, y'all, that guilt complex, get to the root of it. Just know, religion, family, culture, this whole money system is just what fucking roots you down into your lower thoughts, thinking that you should have more, thinking that you should be more. And that shit is just useless. And for one, it just has you thinking in the future or thinking in the past. And all you have right now is the present moment to actually affect whatever change that you actually desire, what you actually decide that you want in your life. But you steady thinking about what other people want or what other people doing, or observing entertainment, watching TV, watching social media, playing video games. All the shit that just can lead to stagnation, as opposed to working out, as opposed to reading a book, as opposed to studying politics, as opposed to studying self-improvement, psychology, finances, entrepreneurship, working on your art, working on your creativity, falling into someone else's pendulum, falling into someone else's rhythmic swing of what they've advertised for you to do, rather than what you want to do for yourself and what you've decided how to live your life and become the thing and live the life that you want in the future. That's the real battle. That's what all of the distractions are really about. And again, I'm all for indulgence, pleasure, just entertainment, sacral chakra, whatever you want to do. But make sure that mentally you're at a point where you can actually laugh at it. You can actually be enjoyment while you're doing these things. You're not just escaping your own sadness and depression and anger, because that shit is actually very easy to figure out. Sadness, depression, and anger. Just be real with yourself. Be real with life and become stronger. And that's it and that's all. And then all of the quote unquote distractions and bad things that everybody's saying not to do, that should just become fun to you. That should just become a little bit of relaxation, a little bit of time off. And then you get back to focusing. Then you get back to your life. Then you get back to the grind. But once you can fucking release the thoughts of other people and what your family is doing and how they holding up and what they need to be doing and how other people need to be living, once you can release the control of that shit, then you will know true freedom. And blame yourself at the same time. Blame yourself for everything. And when we're talking about knowing true freedom, blame your own ego for everything that you go through, but release the expectation and the need to control the direction and path and thoughts and behaviors of other people. That's one of the biggest things to experience in that spiritual liberation and salvation. And then just get stronger, just get more powerful, just focus, just create. Then all of the entertainment, the fun, the stimulation, the distractions, it just becomes something new to do, something fun to consume, something to pass your time with. But it's not going to be rooting you in sadness and depression and guilt, fucking guilt from indulging in your sacral chakra, from indulging in the pleasures of life, eating food, watching TV, scrolling on social media, consuming some comedy, being lazy, sleeping in. You're not going to be, you can do it guilt-free once you conquer all of your demons. And that's it, y'all. That's it, that's it, that's it. Stay God-like, my people.